The desperate gamble. The emergency session of the Galactic Federation had been running for 72 hours straight. In the Grand Assembly Hall on Station Zenith Prime, representatives from 214 species argued, pleaded, and despaired. Holographic displays surrounding the circular chamber showed the same horrifying images on repeat. Colonies reduced to rubble, battlecruisers torn apart like paper, entire moons cracked open and drained of their energy cores. The Crimson Devourer had arrived 3 months ago from the unexplored regions beyond the Outer Rim. No one knew where it came from. No one understood what it wanted. All they knew was that nothing could stop it. High Chancellor Morzak, a towering reptilian from the Zinthori homeworld, slammed his ceremonial staff against the floor. The sound echoed through the chamber, demanding silence. His golden eyes swept across the assembly with barely contained frustration. "We have exhausted every option," he announced, his voice carrying the weight of defeat. "Our most powerful weapons pass through the creature as if it exists in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Our best scientists cannot explain its biology. Our psychics cannot penetrate its mind. We are facing extinction and we have no answers." In the lower gallery, Captain Elena Reeves sat quietly among the human delegation. At 34 years old, she was young by Federation standards. Humans had only joined the galactic community 18 years ago, and they were still considered newcomers. Inexperienced, reckless, useful, primarily for dangerous tasks that more established species preferred to avoid. She had been listening to the debate with growing certainty. The Federation was approaching this all wrong. Dr. Vorn, her closest friend and a brilliant Keltheran scientist, sat beside her. His blue crystalline skin refracted the chamber's light into soft patterns. He noticed Elena's expression and touched her arm gently. "I know that look," he whispered, concern evident in his melodic voice. "Whatever you are thinking, please reconsider." Elena smiled sadly. "You know me too well." Before Vorn could respond, Elena stood. In the hierarchical structure of the Federation, humans rarely spoke during emergency sessions. Several delegates turned to look at her with surprise and mild irritation. "High Chancellor," Elena called out, her voice steady and clear. "I volunteer to make contact with the Crimson Devourer." The chamber erupted in chaos. Some delegates laughed. Others shouted objections. A few simply stared at her as if she had lost her mind. Ambassador Kreth, the head of the human delegation, grabbed Elena's sleeve. "Captain Reeves, sit down. This is not the time for human bravado." Elena gently pulled free. "With respect, Ambassador, this is exactly the time. The Federation has tried force. You have tried studying it from a distance. No one has tried simply talking to it." "Talking?" Morzak's laugh was bitter. "The creature has no communication organs. It responds to nothing. It simply consumes and destroys." "You do not know that," Elena countered. "You have only tried communication methods that work for Federation species. Has anyone considered that it might communicate in ways we have not imagined?" Avrelian Commander, his insectoid features clicking with agitation, spoke up. "Even if you are correct, which is highly unlikely, why send you? Why send a human?" The question hung in the air. Elena knew the answer even if no one wanted to say it aloud. Humans were expendable. If she died, the Federation would lose one person from a species with billions. It was cold calculation, nothing more. "Because I have experience with creatures others call monsters," Elena said simply. "On Earth, I worked in xenobiology and animal rescue. I have seen terrified animals lash out and destroy everything around them. I have seen creatures labeled as dangerous that simply needed understanding." She paused, meeting Morzak's eyes directly. "I have seen fear that looks like rage." Vorn stood beside her now, his support clear even as worry radiated from him. "Captain Reeves has successfully negotiated with 17 previously hostile species during her time with the Federation. Her record speaks for itself. Her record is irrelevant if she is atomized within seconds of approaching the Devourer," another delegate snapped. Morzak raised his staff again. The chamber quieted. He studied Elena for a long moment, his ancient eyes reading something in her expression that others missed. "You understand this is almost certainly a death sentence," he said quietly. "I understand," Elena replied. "But doing nothing is a death sentence for everyone. At least let me try something different." The vote took less than 10 minutes. It passed overwhelmingly. Elena tried not to think about how eagerly most delegates approved sending her to die. 3 days later, Elena stood in the docking bay beside her ship, the Wanderer. It was a small exploration vessel, fast and maneuverable, equipped with every scanning and communication device the Federation possessed. Thorne had spent the past 72 hours modifying it personally. I installed additional shielding, Thorne said, his hands moving nervously, and triple redundancy on all systems. I also added a quantum beacon. If something happens, we will know immediately. Elena pulled him into a hug. Thank you, my friend, for everything. Thorne's crystalline body vibrated with emotion. Please come back. Humans may be considered expendable by the Council, but you are not expendable to me. I will try my best, Elena promised. She could not promise more than that. As she climbed into the cockpit and began the launch sequence, Elena thought about the creature waiting for her in the darkness of space. The Crimson Devourer. Everyone saw a monster, but Elena had learned long ago that monsters were often just misunderstood souls crying out in pain. The Wanderer launched smoothly, slipping through the station's atmospheric shield and into the black void. Behind her, the lights of Station Zenith Prime grew smaller. Ahead, somewhere in the darkness, something ancient and terrible waited. Elena took a deep breath and set her course toward the Forbidden Zone, toward the creature that had destroyed worlds, toward what everyone believed was certain death. She had always been better at hope than fear.